one word.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
If we were to sum the game up, I suppose it would have been a little bit of redemption from 2007.
Definitely be a redemption.
Ruthless.
Or just ruthless all day.
Definitely relief, amongst a lot of other things, but that was probably the first emotion that came from getting the win.
Yeah, relief was probably one of the feelings after the game, relief and excitement.
Relief, the feeling of relief when the siren went will stick with me forever.
So 2007 was heartbreaking. We went down by 10 points, I think it was in the end, to Koroit after being up with about a minute on the clock.
2007, it probably could have been seen as an era for the Tranmere Lake Footy Club a little bit, because 04 Premiership, 05 Premiership, 06. We had a lot of injuries that year, but we had a pretty good side as well. Then 07, disappointing end. So it could have been really seen as an end of an era, but we just young blokes, we just got to work, and it was a pretty successful pre-season.
Heading into pre-season of 2008, there was a feeling around the group that we were seeking redemption, I guess. With those senior blokes leaving, it gave an opportunity to a group of blokes who probably had had a taste of senior footy, but probably hadn't established themselves to play in some different positions and different roles.
And there was, I think a great balance, a great mix.
Every Saturday night we'd be down in Warrnambool and carrying on, and then be back on a Sunday in Terang, and it was a good time. So, and that just kind of led to week in, week out playing pretty good footy. So
the young kids we were bringing in were standing up to the task.
We all wanted to consolidate ourselves as senior players, so it became really competitive in the pre-season.
We got off to a bit of a flyer. Our first 3 games, I remember, we were pretty comfortable wins. We had a really high percentage, but then we played Koroit in round 4 and lost to them. So that was a bit of a reality check, and then we lost to them all 3 times that season. So
whatever happened during the home and away season, it was going to count for little unless we got the job done at the end of the year. So there was a burning desire amongst the group the whole year.
We're a pretty ruthless side. Like, we didn't give up too many goals during the year.
Going towards the final series, we knew we were going to finish on top. We've probably finished 2 games clear. As I said, we lost the 4 games. Had the week off, and then we were playing Cobden at Koroit.
Beautiful sunny day, and things just clicked for us. We played really well from start to finish, and we got over the line against Cobden, putting us straight through the grand final.
And I remember supporters being really happy about that. Obviously, inside we're all really happy to be through to a grand final.
I guess it's still a resolve amongst the playing group that the biggest game was still to come, and that again, it wouldn't have counted for much if we were to let it slip from that point.
A lot of the senior players in the team, Sarge, Straubs, Beagle, telling us to sort of keep a lid on it. We still had a fair bit of hard work to do.
We made a quick decision that night we'd go back to Terang, have a few beers at the middle pub in Terang, and then just really try and enjoy it. It's not every day you get to a grand final.
So yeah, I had a couple of weeks off led into the grand final to really think about it, which can be a good thing and a bad thing.
The Thursday night training, obvious excitement around, lots of people in the club rooms, lots of people coming to watch training. Everybody trained as normal, but in the background we knew that there were blokes doing fitness tests, and I guess everybody had one eye on that. We were unsure which way selection was going to go with Geordie and Luke Rounds available.
Geordie McKenzie and Luke Rounds were playing Falcons at that stage, but we also knew that Timmy Hunt and Lucas Boyd were also playing at Warrnambool, so they had the option of bringing 2 players in, as did we. And
come grand final day with Geelong Falcons getting knocked out, it was. I suppose it was. I look back, it was a bit nerve-wracking and stressful, just with obviously some close mates on the cusp and going out of the side, but at the same time it was an opportunity to play in the grand final. Then hadn't played much footy with Tommy Goldenboy too, so to run out with him and other close mates, as well as that older core as well.
Training had finished, Pudsar walking towards me, my heart sank. He said, "You're all good, you're playing Saturday," and so's your brother Geordie.
We said we've got to play them. No matter what happens, there's going to be some hard calls that get made.
So there was a few injuries going into the grand final, and there was a lot of players who had to go through fitness tests. Tyson Densley had injured his knee, and he went through a vigorous fitness test on the Thursday night.
Henry thought I was alright to go through the full training session after that, so I was pretty relieved. But walking off the track after training, Pud called me aside for one more fitness test. He got Misha along as well and had me running in straight lines and kicking it, and had Misha running flat out from the side to clean me up as I kicked it. So yeah, I didn't think that was a great idea, and probably wasn't real happy with Pud at the time, but he eventually named me in the side about an hour later. So
he's since told me that the fitness test we put him through was pretty rigorous, and it was sort of one of those things where you go into a grand final, they're hard enough to win without taking in blokes who aren't 100%.
Steve Staunton had injured his hand quite badly in an incident he was quite vague on. He cut his hand on a knife somehow. We had an alcohol ban, so I don't think he was drinking, so he tells us.
We also heard that he was trying to play games with a knife and end up cutting his hand. Also heard that was trying to cut lemons and put in his Corona. So I don't know the full story, so Stordo might have more on that.
He'd severed tendons in his hand. It was a really serious injury. He trained on the Thursday night. He was quite useless. He could barely mark the ball.
So basically, we had a conversation with Steve and said, right, are you 100% or not? And he said yes, which was a lie.
Bernard thought he'd put him through a fitness test, and the fitness test was Stordo to put his hands out like so. Bernard would punch his hand as hard as it could. And so the first time Bernard punched it really hard, and Stordo just stared him in the eye and said, you got to do harder. Bernard punched him again really hard. He goes, you got to do harder than that. And Bernard's just going, crack! And Stordo, no expression or he goes, it's fine.
I said to Bernard, did you give him everything you got? Yeah, I hit him as hard as I possibly could. Steve come back and we said, right, we'll take the risk with you.
I think Steve sort of took it pretty well, but later on said that it actually killed him.
And I think he had tears in his eyes. He was in that much pain. But he put on a good show for Bernard and convinced the selection staff, and obviously played his role in the grand final.
So I got read out and thought I was playing. I thought, oh Jesus, that's not a good sign. But
and I think in the game, his first mark went up for it and missed it.
I think the ball went straight through his hands and he dropped it, and we thought, oh no, could be a long day for Stordo.
There were a couple of matchups that may have surprised Warrnambool on the day. Beagle went to Jason Rowan, and Dingo tagged Justin Eales instead of Jared McCorkle, who'd had a really good year to that point.
It was horrendous conditions.
It was a really windy day, horrible conditions.
Yeah, messy, windy sort of day, but
It was a cross breeze from the club rooms heading towards the where the scoreboard was, and it was really, really tough conditions. And I think for what we were able to do in that first quarter was probably set the game up. I think we might have kept Warrnambool goalless.
they weren't scoring goals, and we were scoring ours. We're getting lucky, like Dingo kicking goals, and
I had a pretty lucky day. The wind was pretty kind to me, and I managed to kick a goal, which I think everyone was pretty surprised about because I'm not the greatest kick.
Dingo kicked goal from 50, probably 55, sort of stretching out to about 65 now. Sailed through, got everyone really up and about early in the game. Great confidence booster.
It was the year of the knuckle punch.
On the way back, he was knuckle punching every single player within the in the team on the way back. So that started us off really well.
My first play I was involved in was Michael Sargent had picked the ball up, and I've stood there ready to receive the handball, and he kept running, got tackled, holding the ball, gave me one of the biggest sprays for not shepherding him I've ever heard in my life. I was running on eggshells for the rest of the day after that.
As the sort of day went on, things started to fall into place for us. Josh Baxter was playing really well at centre half forward. He was leading really hard and wasn't getting the opportunities on the scoreboard, but he was creating a lot of chances for our players. Our young blokes, Geordie and Ramsey, had come in, and Luke was playing on Ash McCorkle, who was a well-established Hammer League player, and they had a great battle on the wings. Our back six were terrific. Sarge was floating across, helping Beagle out.
we tackled hard. We did all the little things really, really well, and they maybe come across as being arrogant, but I think we were a tight group.
the back line in particular, just sort of life or death type footy.
We were playing all over them. Felt like if it was a dry day, we would have been 10 or 11 goals up. So
it did somewhat feel like we were in control most of the day. The scoreboard probably suggested that too from reasonably early on. Even though it wasn't a smashing, it was comfortable, but it probably felt even more comfortable than what the scoreboard suggested.
With about 10 minutes to go, being 21, and had Jace Maloney next to me, also a young player at the time. We were getting really excited, perhaps getting a little bit chirpy, I just remember Michael Sargent calming down, said, "Hold your horses, boys, the game's not won, let's play this thing out."
Jace come up to me in the last quarter about halfway through and asked if we could celebrate. I said, no, just hang on, like 10 goals up, but just hang on a little bit, we'll just see how we go. And then
Yeah, Sarge wouldn't let us enjoy it.
And with 2 minutes to go, I remember Sarge clear as day saying, "Righto boys, we're going to win this, let's start celebrating now." And we're all talking, roughing about. It was just a good moment to savour that final 2 minutes, knowing you're going to win a grand final. It was just an incredible feeling, that last 2 minutes, or just on top of the world.
But it just felt like there was 21 blokes there that the result was never really going to go any other way. So.
And I think at the end of the game we're 40-point winners, and yeah, so that's how we all sort of finished up winning the 2008 flag.
After the game, obviously, we were an incredible feeling. Everyone was jumping on top of each other, cheering, yelling. I can't describe. I had goosebumps at the time. It was an amazing feeling.
A few awkward hugs on the ground, a few bit of a lap of honour and carrying on for the photo for the paper. And Tom and Geordie were, I don't know where they were, but they missed out on that one. I think they were out the back celebrating together, having a nice little family moment.
Geordie and myself went over to Grandma to say g'day and show her the medals. And that's when they had the team photo, so we missed out on that.
But yeah, the next few days was it was great fun.
Where James Hurd said, if you ever win a grand final on the Friday, on the Saturday night, just take it easy so you remember everything from that night. And I didn't listen to his advice. I can't remember anything from the night.
Celebrations were true to form again. We partied pretty hard, and the young blokes didn't let anyone down, and it was a good few days.
I remember I didn't sort of get to uni for 2 or 3 weeks after the grand final. Ended up pulling the pin on the course altogether after that. Probably got a little bit carried away.
But I remember the umpire coming up to me and Jace Maloney in the last quarter and said to us, "Who do you reckon best on ground?" And Jace said, "Oh, definitely me." I've been pretty good, but we kind of said Paddy Heffernan. Look at him, he's probably had 50 touches for the day, and sure enough, he got the medal.
Dingo ended up with 3 goals as a tagger and took away a best on ground medal.
I was very, very lucky to get the medal on the day, and my head's obviously big as it is, and it was a lot bigger after that. And the next day, had a fair few beers under the belt, and I decided to jump up on the bar and start a chant. So I got up on the bar and was sort of yelling out, "How many goals did I kick? How many goals did Warrnambool kick? 3. How many goals did I kick? 3." And got the whole sort of bar into it, and it was I was a bit over the top, but it was a good few days after the grand final. So.
Although everybody had to wait 12 months, it was worth the wait, and the enjoyment and the relief on everybody's face was well worth it.
Yeah, great memories.